Hi everyone, good evening. Our topic for today is all about safety and security in tourism and hospitality. What are we learn about safety and security in tourism and hospitality? Safety and security in tourism and hospitality encompasses measures to protect guests, staff, and assets from physical harm, data breaches, health risks, and crises, ensuring a secure and enjoyable experience. First topic, safety and security in tourism, terminal security. Number 1, perimeter protection, fencing with sound system to accurately detect intrusions. Number 2, perimeter CCTV and mobile indoor camera support. 3, early detection systems, surface radars, and board unattended sensor. 4. Access control using cards and other biometric mechanism. 5. Fire detection system. 6. Frequency exhibitors. 7. Video analysis, abandoned object and suspicious behavior. 8. System for communicating with passenger and staff within the facilities and airport areas. We have terminal security. Terminal security exists to protect passengers, staff, aircraft, and facilities from unauthorized access, harm, theft, and other threats, ensuring a safety and secure travel environment. And this is some information. Airport security screening, carry-on baggage screening in standard lanes, check baggage screening, pat-down screening, and secure flight. Second topic, airport safety. When going through airport security, place your bags on the belt only as you're ready to walk through the managed tomer, not while you are still in a line. Number 2, thieves are known to work in pairs. 3, keep your luggage inside and close by at any public, especially at airports. 4, thieves commonly switch bags at transportation and hotel counters. 5, unattended luggage may be removed and or destroyed by security staff. 6. Do not approach or remain near someone else unattended baggage. 7. Do not agree to guard a stranger's luggage. 8. Upon arrival, be present when your luggage is delivered to the baggage area. 9. If you must sit down your suitcase or bags, place them against a wall, counter, and maintain contact with them. 10. Watch your luggage being stowed aboard your taxi or van and the airport and hotel. If possible, take your carry-on inside the vehicle. Why do we have airport safety? Airport safety measures are in place to protect passengers, staff, aircraft, and facilities from accidents, injuries, threats, and hazards, ensuring a secure and efficient air travel experience. Food safety. Food safety for tourism. 1. Make sure you have an idea as to which food will produce which illness. 2. Take the time to know what are the major food problems and potential crises for your area. 3. Make sure that you know who is working in your kitchen and what is their state of health. Number 4. The safety of your food is directly dependent on the health, both physical and mental, of those preparing the food that is reserved. 5. Sensitize staff. No food allergies. Not only can food be contaminated either through illness or via malevolent act. 6. Make sure that the trash is deposited in a way that does not harm the environment. 7. Caterers should come under the same scrutiny and as hotels and restaurants. Why do we have food safety? Food safety measures are implemented to protect consumers from foodborne illness, contamination, and allergic reactions by ensuring proper handling, preparation, storage, and serving practice. Fourth topic, National Tourism Safety and Security Plan. A National Tourism Safety and Security Plan is a logical consequence of the development of a national policy on this subject. Number 1, identification of potential tourist risk according to the types of travel affected tourism sector and location. Number 2, detection and prevention of offenses against tourists. 3, protection of tourists and residents from illicit drugs trafficking. 4. Protection of tourist sites and facilities against unlawful interference. 5. Establishment of guidelines for operators of tourist facilities in the event of unlawful interference. And lastly, responsibilities for dealing with the press and other media at home and abroad. Why do we have National Tourist Safety and Security Plan? The National Tourist Safety and Security Plan ensures visitor protection and well-being through coordinated emergency response, risk management, and security measures promoting a safety and enjoyable travel experience. Sixth topic, 16 personal safety tips. 1. Pickpockets prepare to choose easy victims. Number 2. Pickpockets scam merchant often work in groups. Number 3. Only carry around as much as money as you need for that day. 4. Do not carry around haversack on your back. 5. Do not have a camera slung around your neck. 6. If you need to look up anything on a map, go into a cave and sit down rather than look up your destination in the streets. 7. In the caves and restaurant, pay attention to your bags, purse, and wallet. 8. Watch out for distraction, tip scams. 9. Pay particular attention and station. 10. Beware other people around you and pay attention to what they are doing. 11. Take out a travel insurance policy. 12. Keep your passport safe. 13. Do not be fooled by fake policeman or undercover police. 14. Emulate the dress code of the local residents. 15. Avoid walking into the dark, isolated back street, especially if you are alone. And lastly, when you are the beach, do not leave your belongings.
What to do when you are attacked or hijacked. Number 1. Try to remain calm and do not panic. Number 2. Think quickly because your mind will be your first defense. Number 3. Evaluate the situation, look around and see if there is someone, and see if you can run and make as much noise as possible. Number 4. Do not resist when being attacked unless you are able to escape. Number 5. Be prepared to let your bag package go if someone tries to snatch it. Bag and packages can be replaced but your life cannot. Number 6. Cooperate and try to stall your attackers until help arrives. Number 7. If you are unable to escape, make sure that you concentrate on your attacker's identity and try to notice eyes, age, height, colors, face, scars, tattoos, limbs, clothes, speech, accents, and patterns. Number 8. Try to leave your fingerprints whenever you can. Also leave small personal items behind such as an earrings, lipstick, scarves. Link anything that can be traced back to you. Lastly, report the attack as soon as possible. Safety on the beach. Number 1. Never swim alone. Number 2. Swim only at designated bathing patrolled by lifeguard. Number 3. Do not swim when drunk. Number 4. Do not leave your belongings unattended. Number 5. Place your lifter in the bins provided and leave the beach as you would like to find it clean. Number 6. Do not walk alone in an isolated beach. Safety at the hotel. There are 7 safety at the hotel. Number 1 is never leave your luggage unattended. Number 2, store your valuables in the hotel safety deposit box. Number 3, lock your room at all times whether you are in the hotel or out. Number 4, if someone knocks, check who it is before opening. Number 5, hand the keys in the desk when you leave when you leave the hotel. Number 6, be observant when entering parking areas. Number 7, carry your passport and or travel documents only if you have to. Alternative, carry certified copies. Safety in the car. Number 1, buy a map and plan your route in advance. Number 2, do not leave any items in the seat, place them in the boot. Number 3, never pick up strangers or hitchhikers. Number 4, when your windows up or leave a light gap. Number 5, you should observe suspicious person at a red traffic light at night. It would be acceptable to proceed carefully provided there are no other vehicles. Number 6, do not stop and rest on deserted roads. 7, distance between towns are considerable. Make sure that you do not run out of gas. 8, do not stop and accidents or obstacles in the road, rather call the police. Number 9, when someone bumps your car from behind under suspicious circumstances, do not stop. The Department of National Defense. The Department of National Defense is the executive department of the Philippines government responsible for guarding against external and internal threats to peace and security in the country. The Department of National Defense exercises executive supervision over the Armed Forces of the Philippines, the Office of Civil Defense, the Philippines Veterans Affairs Office, the National Defense College of the Philippines, and the government arsenal. It is also responsible for disaster preparations and management in the country. The Philippines Veterans Affairs Office, the National Defense College of the Philippines, and the government arsenal, it is also responsible for disaster preparations and management in the country. The Armed Forces of the Philippines. The Armed Forces of the Philippines are the military forces of the Philippines. It consists of the Army, Navy, including the Marine Corps, and the Air Force. The President of the Philippines is the Commander-in-Chief of AFP, and the forms military policy with the Department of National Defense, an executive department acting as the principal organ by which military policy is carried out. A previous attached branch in the defunct Philippines Constabulary, while the Philippine Coast Guard is a wartime attached service. Military service is entirely voluntary. The Office of Civic Defense. The Office of Civil Defense is an organization within the Philippines Department of National Defense, or DND, and serve as the implementing arm of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, which is the NDRRMC. As such, it has the primary mission of administering a comprehensive national civil defense and disaster risk reduction and management program by providing leadership in the continuous development of strategic and systematic approaches, as well as measure to reduce the vulnerabilities and risks to hazard and manage the consequence of disaster.
So let's discuss about Philippine Veterans Affairs Office, PVOA. So let's summarize. The main point is that the Philippine Veterans Affairs Office they have responsible for providing care, benefits, assistance to war veterans, their surviving spouse, and orphans as mandated by the Philippine Constitution. So they have responsible for providing to those surviving spouse and orphans, providing care, benefits, assistance. So that's the main point of Philippine Veterans Affairs Office. So next is National Defense College of the Philippines, NDCP. So the main point is this, that the National Defense College of the Philippines is the government institution that provides education and training on national defense and security, operating under Department of National Defense. So National Defense College of the Philippines is focuses on training students in national defense and security issues. So next is Government Arsenal, NGA. So the main point is that a government arsenal produces weapons and ammunition. So when you say ammunition is it's like bullets, shells, cartridges, and explosives. So that's the meaning of ammunition. For the AFP and PNP and manage the sale and exports of surplus items. So next is Human Security Act of 2007. So let's summarize this. So Philippine law that allows is that the Philippine law allows authorities to arrest and temporarily detain individuals suspected of terrorism without a warrant if they believe to be involved acts that cause widespread fear and harm. While it grants these powers, that law also protects the rights of the detained, ensuring that they can access a lawyer, priest, doctor, or family members. The law aims to help combat terrorism while balancing security and basic human rights. So, to those individuals suspected na arrest, they have a chance to access with a lawyer, priest, doctor, or family members. That's the Human Security Act of 2007. So next is National Security Strategy 2018. So let's see. Let's have summarize. Connects national security with economic growth, aiming to improve the Philippines' economy, society, and politics to create stronger and better country for the Filipinos. So aiming improves the Philippines. So let's say national security strategy is economic growth, society, politics, create stronger and better country for the Philippines. So next is safety and security. So we have crime, for travel, air travel, sea travel. Crime is safety for harm and injury caused by the criminal activities such as being protected from their assault or other unlawful acts. So, next is local travel, ensuring transportation. So air travel, ensuring well-being of passenger, so preventing accidents. Next is sea travel, protection against dangers such as shipwrecks, road weather, and weather condition para safe ang mga passengers. So next is security. Crime, protection against criminal threats or intentional harm, preventing theft, violence, or killing. So next is local travel, protection from criminal activities like theft, attacks during travel, just like that. So next is air travel, mission to protect against threats like hijacking, tourism, and sabotage. So sea travel is protection against threats such as piracy, hijacking, and tourism, targeting ships, maritime activities. So safety focuses is preventing accidents and unintentional harm. And security is about protecting against intentional threats such as crime or terrorism.
Political situation. The political situation, safety, and security can vary greatly depending on the country and region. When traveling to areas with potential political instability, consider the following. Research local conditions and stay informed about potential safety risks. Register with your government travel advisory department for updates and emergency assistance. Avoid large gathering and demonstration. Stay vigilant in crowded areas and public places. Types of terrorism-related incidents, safety, and security. Here are the types of terrorism-related incidents affecting safety and security. Crime-related incidents, theft, scams, assault, kidnapping. Health and medical incidents, illness, injuries, medical emergencies, pandemics, and natural disaster-related incidents, earthquake, wildfire, floods, transportation, accidents, vehicle hijacking. The journey is end-to-end. End-to-end safety and security encompass various measures to ensure travelers' physical and emotional well-being throughout their journey. Arrival and safety security. Arrival safety security measures ensure a secure and smooth welcome experience for travelers. Here are comprehensive checklists. Pre-arrival. Travel documentation verification. Flight information sharing. Travel alerts and advisories. Airport station arrival. Secure pick up or drop off zone. Clear signage. Airport or station staff assistance. Security screening. Baggage safety. Baggage claim security. Baggage wrapping service. Lost luggage. Access. Access safety and security encompass various measures to ensure physical and digital security across different environments. Here are a comprehensive breakdown. Physical access safety. Secure entry and exit points. CCTV surveillance. Security personnel. Visitor management and emergency response plans. Arrival. Arrival safety and security measures ensures a secure and smooth welcome experience for travelers. Here are some comprehensive checklists. Pre-arrival. Travel documentation verification. Flight information sharing. Travel alerts and advisories. Airport on station arrival. Secure pick-up or drop-off zone. Designated areas for transportation. Clear signage. Easy to follow directions to baggage claim, customs and exits. Attraction and activities. Attraction and activities, safety and security measures protect visitors and staff from potential hazard and risk. Here are some comprehensive checklists. Physical safety, risk assessment, safety signage, barrier and fencing, emergency exit and fire safety. Safety measures, access control, secure entry and exit points, CCTV surveillance, strategically placed cameras, security personnel, trained staff or security guard, bag checks and screening, and emergency response plans.
Current initiatives. Tourism Bill of 2008 aims to revamp national tourism by creating the Tourism Security Force. However, concerns about its effectiveness and coverage of all five A's remain. The TSF will be trained in cultural sensitivity, languages, and relevant laws, aiming to improve their performance. Tourist-oriented police, community-oriented police, or TOCOP, and Task Force Tourism Patrol in Lagawi, Ifugao, Caraga, Intramuros, Malate, and Rizal Park, and Security of Tourist Operation Program in Mindanao Province. DOT Memo Circular 2006 to 2009 aims to enhance security and safety awareness in DOT accredited accommodations, but concern arise about strict adherence to this directive. Next is, what is end-to-end holistic approach? End-to-end holistic approach is much of the vested in any law lies in implementing rules and regulations, or IRR. At this stage, the misinterpretation of security as equivalent to peace and order can still be corrected and consequently even strengthen the relationship between private and public security forces. Next is assessment of risk, threat, and vulnerabilities of all 5As. The assessment of risk, threats, and vulnerabilities of all 5As is crucial for understanding the current situation. It can be conducted by a qualified expert in security management or committee of private agencies. The assessment should also determine the geographical jurisdiction of TESAs, which may take time due to scope, location, accommodation, and tourist attraction. Funding may be provided by the Tourism Act. Next is application of remedial measures. Assessment reports are always done with a list of recommended measures to address all matters considered as risk, threat, strength, and vulnerabilities. Next is accreditation system for all stakeholders of the 5As. The industry accreditation requirements for various private stakeholders, such as hotel, tourist inns, apart, resorts, and pension houses, are irrelevant to the current security environment. These requirements are motherhood statement that highlights area for non-compliance. Accreditation aims to raise standards and allow stakeholders to reach certain standards based on recommended remedial measures. The Tourist Bill recognizes the value of accreditation, including the awareness of franchises to transportation service providers. To ensure compliance with safety and security regulations, the accreditation process and requirements should be updated. Next is assimilation of security, safety, and emergency response program. The tourism industry faces security and safety challenges which require a central body to gather, process, and analyze information. Safety incidents are expected to occur regardless of preventive measure. The challenge lies in how public and private partners respond to calamities and natural incidents. Government often prioritize emergencies while private establishments may struggle to manage such as incidents. Private sector can handle incidents based on its resources and management system.